The Nova Guest List Podcast.
With Kieran McGuinness.
The very best in indie, alternative and homegrown music. From the seriously addictive Radio Nova.
It is the brilliant Fisherman's Blues by the Waterboys on Radio Nova. Chosen by our very, very special guest tonight, Mike Stevens. How you doing, Mike?
Yeah, I'm great. Thanks, Kieran.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, delighted to be here.
So Mike is a member of, well, I suppose right now you're a member of M. Stevens and the Ghasts.
Correct, yes.
Which is your current band. I think you've been in about 4 or 5 other bands before that. It's your 11th or 12th album.
Yeah.
You would be a kind of
old man.
Well, you're a veteran. You're a
Yes.
songwriting veteran. And people who don't know, maybe don't know you. Could you give us a little kind of background on your songwriting background?
Sure. Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess my songwriting background in Dublin, I would have started in a band with Settler, but and I remember playing with yourselves back in the day in Settler. After Settler, then I went to played in a band called Groom. Then I played in a band called Lions, which is a kind of a punk 2-piece.
Yeah.
Then I played in a band called Skelecrats, which is a kind of a fuzz pop band.
So are these all? So there's a lot of bands there. So are these all kind of extensions of your own songwriting, or is it just that you're in a lot of friend groups and you're the guitarist for someone else's songwriting, or are they all kind of led mostly by you or partly by you?
Well, mostly by me. Sometimes collaborations like with Settler. Sometimes it was mostly I was just the guitar player in Skelecrats for a while, but I started to write songs later with them. But yeah, the other bands have been the kind of the songwriter in the band. And yeah, because maybe nobody else wanted to do it and or whatever.
Because I think it's really important that there's loads of songwriters, amazing, experienced, talented songwriters that exist outside of the top 10 or whatever, and release brilliant albums and kind of are dedicated to their passion. And I think that's you were one of those people.
Yeah. I guess it's kind of part of the whole part of the grassroots scene, I guess, in Dublin or in Ireland or whatever. And I guess, songwriting is a passion of mine. And so I move from band to band writing songs where I go.
I move with my bag of songs.
Yeah.
Well, look, we're going to chat about the brand new album in a little while. And the band is M. Stevens and the Ghasts. So we're going to chat about that, and we've got a big launch gig as well. So we just played a little bit of the Waterboys there. And what does the Waterboys mean to you, songwriting-wise?
Oh, well, I'm from the west of Ireland, so I'm from Mayo, but I spent a lot of time in Galway. And when I was, a kid, the Waterboys were just like, and Mike Scott was just like a god. He was just this incredible romantic presence. I love that song, Fisherman's Blues, because it reminds me of Galway. Right from that first mandolin strike, it feels like you're out on the Atlantic Ocean, and it will always have a place in my heart. And people will say that those kind of folky albums weren't as good as the early Waterboy stuff like Pagan Place and stuff, but for me it's the one that goes right to the heart, and he's a very romantic songwriter. I love that. Yeah.
And I think we'll talk about it in a while, but I think there is a bit of Americana, there's a bit of folk in what you do, and there's also, I think there's a kind of a grasping for something bigger in your lyrics, and I think I hear that a bit, and I can see that.
Okay, that's nicely put. I like that.
No, I think there is something.
I'll take that.
Yeah. But it's the award-winning Radio Nova guest list. That's what we're doing. Why don't we play something great by Villagers? Are you a fan of Villagers?
Yeah, like Villagers, yeah.
Yeah. So Connor's a brand new single. It's a kind of a surprise one. It's called Mountain Out of a Molehill. And this is new from Villagers on Radio Nova. Yeah, that is Wednesday Week, of course, by The Undertones, and chosen by our guest tonight, Mike Stevens. Mike, tell me about The Undertones.
Oh, well, I just think The Undertones probably, for me, the greatest ever Irish band.
Whoa.
Just and Fergal
Big
Sharkey.
claim.
Yeah. I love them. And I can't really say any more than that. I just like listening to their songs.
No, I think that's fair. When we come back after the ads, we're going to be chatting about the new album by M. Stevens and the Ghasts with Mike from the band. We're going to be chatting about their gig in the Bellow Bar next Saturday night and their brand new album, Sycamore Helicopters. Isn't that right?
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
Let's do it after this on Nova.
on Radio Nova.
Yeah, it's Radio Nova, it's Kieran McGuinness, and it's great to be back on the All Irish Hour here. So we're very, very lucky because we're joined by a man called Mike Stevens, and Mike is a really, really talented musician, songwriter, a really experienced musician and songwriter, and he's in a band called M. Stevens and the Ghasts, and I think this is your second album, is that right?
Our second album of this
band.
Yeah,
it's complicated. I'm sure your Wikipedia is probably gone crazy, but so M. Stevens and the Ghasts, a 5-piece band, a kind of Americana folk kind of thing. There's a bit of pop in there, I suppose, as well, but there is a lot of acoustic kind of led, very soulful songs. Yeah, sure. And the new album is called Sycamore Helicopters. It's a great listen. There's some gorgeous songs on it, and there's a couple of lyrics on it as well, which really kind of caught my attention and made me kind of pay attention to it, I suppose. How does it feel to have it out? It's out next Friday. Sorry, how does it feel to about to come out?
It's coming out. Yeah, no, it's well, for me, it's been out for a while because obviously we've been kind of sitting on it, and we're feels like it's out. But yeah, it just feels wonderful to have a new record out there in the wild, and really, really proud of this one. You know, obviously that's what you say with every album, but this feels like a moment for us.
So this is your 12th album, you think, something like that. So what's different on this, and what's new in this kind of feel?
Yeah, well, I suppose like with M. Stevens and the Ghasts, I decide every new band that I form or that I join, I always try to start with the blank sheet, you know, and just kind of rethink how I write songs. So I'll write songs in a completely different way, or I'll create a new rule. So my rule for this band is just I'm on acoustic guitar playing plucked guitar, and I leave everything else to the rest of the guys. That's kind of the rule. That's the define. And of course, you break the rule then.
Well, it's the creative constraint that's supposed to push on.
Yeah. So that's what I've done with this one, and I guess for this album, really, it's story songs. I mean, there's quite a lot of stories, and I'm not really sure how that happened, but it just I decided for some reason to start writing kind of songs that had characters and stories.
Yeah, well, you can definitely feel that. So the first single was called I Look for Sad Songs. Can you give us a brief little intro to the song before we play it?
Sure, yeah. So this is a great song about Galway, and it's also about marine biology.
He's allowed to do that, folks. He's allowed to say it's a great song. It's a great song about Galway. This is I Look for Sad Songs by M. Stevens and the Ghasts on Radio Nova. We are chatting to Mike Stevens. It's Radio Nova. Yeah, that's gorgeous. That is I Look for Sad Songs by M. Stevens and the Ghasts on Radio Nova. And we're very lucky because Mike from M. Stevens and the Ghasts is here. The album is a great listen, the brand new album, Sycamore Helicopters. One of the songs sounds really like Sufjan Stevens, and I was thinking, was that some sort of call to your second names? I don't know.
Well, it's interesting you should say that, because I think when we kind of first were practicing it, that did pop up. That name did pop up. But there's no relation.
No relation. Okay, no official relation. So I wonder how when you get to 12 albums, when you get to as many songs as you do, and I think it's really interesting that you set kind of parameters for yourself. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting way to keep the songwriting interesting for yourself. Do you find that you reuse ideas, or ideas you have a kind of a way of writing melody that keeps coming back in, or anything like that?
Absolutely, yeah. And you try to. Well, I try to break that kind of habit, or that, you know, falling back on a kind of songwriting muscle memory, and try to avoid that if I can. So try to think of a new idea, even if it's just one new idea that you haven't done before. And so an odd time signature or something.
Yeah, I think that the thing that I thought about the album, I thought was interesting, was there's a lot of big themes on it. You know, like it's not like, you know, sometimes people will, after they've written a lot of songs, they'll delve into the minutiae of things, and I think this is sort of
this is thematic.
Big questions on it.
Yeah, and there is, well, for me, this album is, and it could be something else for somebody else, but for me, it's about, you know, the transience of life and how short life is, and you got to grab hold of it while you have it, and that's, you know, be joyful about life, because it doesn't last very long. So
yeah. Well, look, it's a pleasure to listen to. I believe there's some second names I recognise in the credits. Ladies' second names. Are they your family?
Yes. So my
so more Stevens, not Sufjan Stevens.
Yeah, Nora Stevens and Anna Stevens. My wonderful and talented two eldest daughters. So Nora played violin and Anna played flute and also did some backing vocals. And also Hugh's daughter, Hugh in the band who plays keyboards, his daughter Sive plays harp on it as well.
That
so
must be very kind of exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely. It's stressful when you're doing it in the studio, but it was lovely, a lovely thing to do. And we brought the dog in as well, so that was kind of chaotic.
Oh Jesus, the dog! Yeah, fair play. That is chaotic. Well, look, the album is brilliant. One of my favourite songs on it is a song called Elijah Benton's Last Day. We'll chat about the upcoming gig next Saturday in Bellow Bar, but just briefly, about Elijah Benton's Last Day. Can you tell us a bit about the song?
Yeah, so this is a story song. It's I'm not going to say what it's about. Let the listener figure that out for themselves. But for me, it's a 3-act play, and I hope you. It's
a 3-act play again.
Yeah,
fantastic. Yeah. Okay, really enjoyed this one. This is Elijah Benton's Last Day by M. Stevens and the Ghasts on Nova. Yeah, that is Mike Stevens. Sorry, M. Stevens. I keep saying I know it's M. Stevens and the Ghasts, but the singer is Mike Stevens. I'm sorry, but it's M. Stevens and the Ghasts, and it's Elijah Benton's Last Day. It's a gorgeous song. I love that one. It's Kieran McGuinness. It's Radio Nova. If you'd like to ask Mike a question, 087 1818 100, or at Radio Nova 100 on Facebook, or Twitter or Instagram or any of those things. So if you'd like to ask a question to Mike about songwriting, about his band, about how he does it, how he creates all these songs and plays all these gigs and is in all these bands, do let us know. This is a brand new song. Let's play this next. This is by a band called Affection to Rent. I never heard of them before, and the song just absolutely jumped out to me. It's called If We Fall, and there's something very good about this. There's something exciting going on here. If We Fall by Affection to Rent on Radio Nova. Yeah, that's great. That is Affection to Rent, a brand new song called If We Fall. What do you think of that one, Mike?
Really, really nice.
Yeah, really, really nice. This is Mike Stevens is with us from the band M. Stevens and the Ghasts. Their great new album is out next week, Sycamore Helicopters. But they are launching it in Bellow Bar, that great venue up there in Rathmines, by the canal there. Portobello, yes. The Bellow Bar. There you go. That makes sense. Next Saturday, Bellow Bar, M. Stevens and the Ghasts launching Sycamore Helicopters. So, what can people expect from the gig?
Well, there'll be a couple of other bands playing with us. There's an experimental singer-songwriter from Cork called Twitcher, so she's going to be playing, and also Potter Cooney and Bedtime Now are playing, so one of my favourites, and then ourselves.
And what can people expect from you? It's a 5-piece then,
yeah,
right?
From us it's a 5-piece band, keyboards, bass, a couple of guitars, and we'll also be joined by my daughters and.
I was going to say, it was special guests. Are they your daughters?
Yes.
Look, it's. I'd say it'd be brilliant live. Looking forward to seeing it next Saturday night in Bellow Bar. Yeah. So we'll look forward to that. A couple of questions in. Sorry, this isn't a question. Sounds like Neil Young singing with Wilco.
Oh, like great that? Compliment.
Yeah,
big
Neil
fans
Young.
of both of them.
There you go. Who is Mike's favourite Irish band?
Favourite Irish band? Oh my God. Okay, I would have to say at the moment it's Potter Cooney and Bedtime Now. Potter Cooney is one of my favourite songwriters. So, and he's a mate of mine as well.
Fantastic, yeah, and also a guy who's just like a songwriter for life, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Why do we play another one of your songs? You've chosen "The Young People" by Lankum. I love that song. Why did you choose that one?
I love Lankum. I love what they do, the droney stuff, but I just really love this as a pop song. It's a great pop song.
It's an unbelievable pop song. Lankum is up next on Radio Nova. Mike from M. Stevens and the Ghasts. How have you enjoyed your time on the radio?
Oh, it's been wonderful.
Wonderful. But did you ever do it? Did you ever do any? Sorry, I get that sentence right. Do you ever have any interest in like playing music, doing DJing or anything like that? Not necessarily.
I don't. I'm not sure if I've the voice for it, to be honest. I get kind of mic fear when I'm on the radio, but like. It's weird because I don't when I'm playing songs, which is a strange thing.
Oh, that's a different thing. But are you the kind of person who forces their music tastes? You have to listen to this.
No, I'm not. I'm definitely not. And apart from my daughters, maybe.
Yeah, they expect
that's
that.
That's what they're for. Yeah.
That's exactly. Well, look, congratulations on the new album. It's called Sycamore Helicopters. It's by M. Stevens and the Ghasts. It's a great listen. Go and check it out. It's out next. Is it out on Spotify and that kind of stuff already, or is it?
No, it'll be out next week on Spotify and all that stuff. Bandcamp, all your ways of streaming.
Yeah, so M. Stevens and the Ghasts into Google, you'll find them pretty quickly. The gig is next Saturday in the Bellow Bar. Absolutely brilliant. Go along and see that. There will be family members there, which just adds to it. Mike, thanks so much for coming in.
My pleasure, and please do come down. It'd be great to see everybody, and we'll say hi.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic stuff. We're going to play another one of your suggestions, the Pogues, to play out. But before that, we have a message in from an old friend of the show. Peter Devlin is releasing an album this week, and he sent in a message live from the airport. I mean, this is just jet setting stuff, all about the brand new album by the Devlins. It's Nova.
Hi Kieran, it's Peter from the Devlins. First off, congratulations on...
That is great. That is All the Days by the Devlins, and that brand new album is out now. Thank you very much for coming in to chat to us, Mike.
Cheers, it's been my pleasure.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Yeah,
so Saturday.
Yeah, see you on Saturday. So the launch of the album is on Saturday. Go along to the Bellow Bar and we'll see you there. Your final choice is the Pogues. Give us 5 seconds on why the Pogues are great.
Well, it's like they talk about great songwriters like Bob Dylan and stuff. All these great songwriters. Is there a better songwriter than Shane MacGowan?
Yeah, he's amazing. Let's go out in this. A great choice, great selection tonight. Thank you so much, Mike. And we'll see you next Saturday night in the Bellow Bar. This is the Pogues and a Pair of Brown Eyes on Radio Nova. Good night.
Good night.
The Nova Guest List Podcast with Kieran McGuinness. The very best in indie, alternative and homegrown music from the seriously addictive Radio Nova.